Hi everyone, it's Austin from Tumblr again coming at you with another Skins podcast. Today I have another special guest with us, and her name is Erica. Erica?
Hi, I'm Forever Alone 625 on Tumblr, but that's probably going to change soon.
Yep. And we're gonna be doing a podcast today about our first impressions of the Skins characters and how our feelings towards them evolved over time. So let's just start off with Frankie. I'm gonna go in the episode orders. Uh, what did you first think about Frankie when Series 5 started?
Um, I liked her. I thought she was intriguing and I was not obsessed with her like some people may have been, but I thought she was interesting and I really liked that they were going in the direction of maybe having an asexual or an androgynous character.
Mhm.
Um, that all changed with this series. I don't really like her anymore.
Yeah, when Series 5 started and I saw the first episode of Frankie, I just thought of her as basically the shy, isolated girl. And this season, she's definitely changed. But during that first episode in Series 5, I thought it was okay. The episode wasn't really the best of Series 5, but I seriously thought she was a interesting character, and I'm glad they brought that aspect to Series 5. Because we've never really seen a character like Frankie before, so I'm glad that the Skins writers did that and brought a character like that to Skins. So um, we're gonna first tell you about like our impressions of them in Series 5, and then we're gonna do the Series 6 impressions. So, what did you think about Rich in Series 5?
Well, uh, yeah, I loved him from very, very early on. I did think he was kind of in his episode, I thought he was a bit whiny and he was complaining, he was like, I'm metal, and it got kind of old, but he grew up and he changed.
Hmm.
Uh,
Um, yeah, I think so too. In Series 5, Rich's episode, I think that was definitely one of my favorite episodes because him and Rich got introduced, and it showed their relationship toward each other starting to begin. And I thought like his metal ways were they did get kind of old, but I'm glad that they also brought that aspect to Skins. Because I like Rich. He's one of my favorite characters, and yeah, I really liked him from the get go as well. Minnie, what did you think about I just said Minnie in Series 5.
I thought she was such a bitch. Yeah, I didn't like her at all.
Me neither.
And I felt a little bad for her in her episode in series 5 with her eating disorder and stuff, and
Mhm.
I could definitely sympathize with her, but she was so annoying.
I thought she was too. I didn't really like the way that Minnie treated her friends from the beginning. I seriously thought she was going since like episode 1 Frankie, where she was being a super bitch to her at the beginning. I really, really did not like Minnie. But she has evolved into a character in which I really like because you actually now get to see her friendships for people. But when Series 5 first began, I thought she was the biggest bitch, and I thought she was going to stay like that, but she didn't, and I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah, even in the first episode of series 5, Frankie's episode, it was very much like Mean Girls, and I was like,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how I feel about this, but I did like how it ended up.
Yep, I do too. And I also like the fact that Minnie has evolved into a character that accepts everyone, and she doesn't treat people like she did in Series 5 as like her gang of Liv and Grace are better than everyone else. I thought that's how it basically started out, but now she accepts everyone and thinks of everyone equally. So I'm glad that that happened, and Minnie has evolved into the person that she is now. What did you think about Liv when Series 5 started?
Um, I don't know. I have kind of a weird, complicated relationship with Liv, I guess. I never disliked her. She got a lot of hate during Series 5 because she hooked up with Nick,
Mhm.
but that never really upset me that much, probably because I didn't like Minnie. I always thought Liv was like a fun character, and I could really relate to her.
Mhm.
Um, and her episode in series 5, a lot of people didn't like, but I love that episode. I think it's really,
Yeah, me too. I liked Liv's episode.
it felt a lot like a Gen 1 episode to
Yep,
me.
it did.
Now
Um,
I love her.
Yeah, I love Liv. I've loved her from the get-go, and I never really hated her. She's always been one of my favorite characters in the third generation, and I liked her storyline of her little sister and that her older sister was in prison, and how she bumped into Maddie at the bus station and all of that, and how it all evolved into Liv's character. And I thought that in Series 5 she was a very interesting person, and I'm glad we got to see her outside of that grouping of Minnie, Liv, and Grace. And I really liked her personal relationship with Maddie. And honestly, I really think that should come back. Well, there's only the finale left, but I really liked Liv and Maddie's relationship. And it just all went down from there. So, but I really like Liv's character. Had, I've always have liked her character since Series 5, and she's one of my favorites, like I said. Nick, what did you think about Nick?
Oh my god, I hated Nick early on. This is gonna sound terrible. I did not like him at all. I thought he was like, I hated how he treated Minnie
Mhm.
in her episode in series 5, and like that's a lot to say because I didn't like Minnie, but I think that, I don't know, he just seemed like a stereotypical douchebag, and like I was like, I can't handle this. And even his episode in series 5, like it's so, I'm just not interested in it. I
Yep.
still can't watch it, but my perception of him has totally changed. Like I really like him now,
Mhm.
and ever since like the finale of series 5, like I love Nick.
Yeah.
He's lovely.
I think that they at first they portrayed him, or they were going to portray him into that typical jockey douchebag kind of way. But I think that in Minnie's episode, I really didn't like him at all. But once they showed his episode in Series 5, where he and his brother, where he cares about Maddie a lot, and I I really liked him in his episode, but not at the beginning of Series 5. And definitely in Series 6, he has evolved into a completely different person than he was in Series 5, and I really like him now. So, what did you think about Mr. Aloe Creevy in Series 5?
I've always really, really liked Aloe. I thought he was like fun, but he always seemed to me to be like too much of a comic relief. Like he was so immature, and like I really liked his episode in series 5, but it wasn't enough like growth for me. But I love his episode in series 6. Like he's totally grown up, and I can see how all of it's happening. And he got a fair amount of hate in last week's episode for like running away
Yeah,
from Minnie, and like for saying he doesn't want a baby, but like he's a 17, 18-year-old boy. Like that's a completely normal response, and he
yeah,
obviously didn't actually run away.
exactly.
He's
In
Peter Pan.
in
Oh.
in Series 5, Aloe, he, like you said, I thought he was very immature. But I really, really liked this episode in Series 5, because it showed a lot of his background at the Creevy farm. And I really liked the setup of his background and his family and his lifestyle and such. And yeah, at first I also thought he was very, very immature. And honestly, I can say that he was my least favorite character to begin Series 5 with. But as it all changed in Series 6, he's definitely not my favorite now, but he's uh, on up there. He's not like my least favorite anymore. And we'll get on more to that later. Grace, what did you think about Grace in
Oh my
Series
god.
5?
I did not like Grace. The very, very first episode, Frankie's episode, I remember thinking like, because the episode was so much like Mean Girls to me. I was just like, she's
Yeah.
like Karen, she's dumb, and like that's all she is. Like, it was just like annoying because it felt like a waste of a character.
Hmm.
I love Grace. Like that all changed the next episode, in Rich's episode. Like I fell in love with her. She's
Hmm.
one of my favorite in history, in Skins history.
Yep, definitely. When Series 5 began, I loved, like, since episode 1, Frankie, I loved her, but they didn't really, like, show her that much in Frankie. I mean, they did, but they didn't like evolve her character. Like I was kind of iffy on what her personality was like, but all until like Rich's episode 2 and episode 7, which was her episode.
That's
Uh,
okay.
she, she was definitely one of my favorites, and I liked her a lot. I love her and her relationship with Rich, and it was
Oh yeah,
great.
yeah. I'm a big fan of that. And her episode in series 5 is like one of my favorites of all
Hmm.
time. Like I'm a huge like Shakespeare fan,
Yep.
so all the Shakespeare in that episode is really exciting. And I think that they did it intentionally, that they developed her this way because she's supposed to be a character that's kind of mysterious. I'm not even trying to make her Effie, but
Hmm.
she's like we don't know anything about her, and we really, really don't. And Jess Sula has gotten some like people said that she's like not a good actress. She always seems fake, but I feel like she was doing that on purpose because Grace is kind of like that.
Yeah.
She's supposed to. She's always had this like fairy tale quality,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yep.
so sad.
I think if I could describe Grace in one word, I would definitely call her mystical. She was very like a different kind of character. Like you never really see a personality like hers. She was very like childish in a way, but not childish in like childish immature. I thought
Yeah,
she was like childish, like
at
fantasy
heart.
wise, yeah. And I really really liked her from the get go in series 5, and series 6 has me devastated about what happened to her. So the first named episode in series 6 is Rich, which was episode 2. How do you think Rich has evolved over the past 2 seasons?
Well, I think he's grown up a lot, and I think that obviously, like falling in love has really, really changed him. And he's gotten more mature and more like open-minded, and you can see now that he cares about people. Like being with Grace has taught him he should value all of his relationships. And whereas before he was just kind of like, he was very angry and like cynical, and he's embraced his like bromance with Aloe because of all this, and
Hmm.
he has changed the way he's dressed a bit. And I don't know if that's like the costume department wanted to make him more look more like a hipster,
Yep.
or like a lot of people have been saying that like, oh, Grace made him change, but Grace never wanted him to change, and
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
teenager. It's very normal
Yep.
to change your interests.
Yep. I think Grace actually liked him, but when he was metal.
Oh yeah,
I think that Rich decided to change because he wanted to impress Grace in that episode where they were going to get married, their marriage that happened but never happened. Um, and I don't know, like I think that he changed to try to impress her, but she didn't really like it that much. Um, but I think Rich has definitely evolved as a character. He has definitely been the one that's matured the most, I think, in the positive way. And I really don't like all the things that people are saying that he's become a pussy this series. I don't think so at all. I just think that Grace changed him, and in a way, not like in a bad way, but in a positive way in which he will prosper throughout the rest of Series 6. So
yeah.
really liked the way he matured over the last 2 series, and yeah. The third episode in Series 5 is Alex. We didn't see any of him in Series 5,
Nope,
and
he's like Sketch.
yep, exactly. He just like pops out of nowhere. But what were your first impressions of Alex?
I was very skeptical before he came out. I was like, I don't know. I don't like that there's a new character. Grace just died. Rich is going to be gone for how many weeks? Like, I didn't really know what to think of him, and I thought he was just kind of be like a filler character. But I loved his episode, and I really like him as a character, and I wish that there was more of him.
Hmm.
There was a bit of him in Nick's episode and Liv's,
Hmm.
but it very different from what it was in his episode. I liked that he was there to distract them, but at the same time to like channel Liv's energy into other things. I still love that they broke into the guy's house and cleaned it.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts out of his episode and of series 6.
I
Um,
think he's a nice character, but
I think he is too. At first, I was definitely, like you said, like skeptical of it. I didn't really like the idea of a new character, because at the time I was just like depressed because Grace died, and I was like, I really don't want a new character after all of this. And at first, I was just like, no, I don't like him. Um, but at the end of his episode, he actually turned out to be like one of my favorites. Um, but he's like not like a favorite major character, but like a minor. I don't know. He's kind of like an iffy. We haven't seen him that much. And I really liked the episode 3 Alex episode. There was a lot of new storyline that we were introduced to, and I don't know. I just think he fit in with the gang fairly well, and I wish we could have seen a little bit more than we did of him. And I'm thinking that we'll see some more of him in the finale tomorrow.
hopefully.
Yep.
So many characters, but I really like his friendship with Liv. I think that
Yeah, me
they're.
too. Definitely. If he wasn't gay, I would really like ship them so hard.
I still think that Liv like still is into him,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
that
Um,
might be a thing
yeah, and
tomorrow.
in the teasers, it actually says that Liv is seeing Alex in a different way. Um, and that just like gets me excited because I ship them so much. Because Liv has really had no one to love her that much. I mean, like she hasn't been in a really really serious relationship. I mean, she's been with Maddie for a little bit, Nick for a little bit, and I think that's all. Is
That's
that it?
about it. I mean, I would so much rather her be with like Alex, even though he's gay, than like be with Rich.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think Rich, like his heart belongs to Grace, even though she's possibly dead. I think she's coming back
Do you think
tomorrow.
she's alive?
Uh,
Uh,
yeah,
I don't know. For a while, I really, really did think she was alive, and I was very much in denial. But I thought that like if she was going to be alive, it still doesn't completely fit for me. I still think that there are holes
yeah, there definitely
in the
is.
way they've done it.
Mhm.
But I feel like if she was going to come back, she would have done it by last week.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, I
there's
don't.
so much to do in one episode.
Yeah, I definitely like. The only thing I said this in another podcast the other day. I think the only thing that would really make me upset if Grace came back
Is
was
the Romeo and Juliet?
that and one of two things, that all of those special moments in series 6, where Liv, Maudie,
Rich,
and yeah, Rich and I'm trying to think of all the names, Doug were at the
Doug.
grave. I think that would be ruined. I think all of the great moments where they were mourning over her death, they would all just be trashed if she came back.
Yeah.
And another thing where I would not like it if she came back was if they leave us on a cliffhanger until series 7. That
That is the only thing I could see though. Like that's the only way I could
Yeah,
see it working is if we see Grace in some way and she's not a hallucination and then it'll end. Like it's so annoying, but at
I
least
hate when
there's
that
a special
happens.
next year.
Exactly. And I'm kind of devastated that Skins is ending, but
Yeah. At
um
least it's ending like on a generation that I really love. And a
yeah,
lot of people
same here.
Generation 3, I love them.
I love
Um
Generation 3. It's definitely my favorite. Um I mean, if they leave me on a cliffhanger with Grace coming back, I don't know. I'll feel kind of iffy about it. I'll
I
be
would feel
mad.
happy about it. She's okay.
Yeah, I would be happy that she was back, but I'd be kind of upset because I'd have to wait a whole year to see what's gonna like happen. But at least she'll come back hopefully, and we'll definitely see tomorrow. I'm very excited. How do you think Frankie has evolved over the past two series?
Well, she's probably changed the most.
I think
She's
so.
Her and Minnie I feel like have changed a lot.
Hmm.
Frankie, I'm not like a Frankie hater, but I'm not a fan of her. She's I don't like not only that I not like that she's changed, I don't like that we didn't see her change. It
Hmm.
happened kind of abruptly. If you
Yep.
watch series 5 and 6 right next to each other, it's like, well, what the hell happened this summer? we didn't get to see it. We didn't get to see what she was like with
Mhm.
Maddie, so we don't really care about her relationship
Is
with
she,
Maddie.
exactly. She just like came back as a completely different person, and like you said,
Yeah,
we didn't get to see that at all.
and like the way she's dressing, like, and I know that Rich's clothing has changed, but her dress has changed so dramatically that it's like I remember her. She made such a huge deal about not dressing in some of the ways that she's dressing now. It's just
Yep.
like it's kind of annoying.
It's like she, like you said, she completely changed over the summer, and like you also said, I'm not a hater of Frankie, but right now I'm not like, okay, the storylines that she had, I think she had so many this
Too
series.
many.
Yeah, exactly. And most of them didn't even like make sense. Like the her and Luke thing, I understood, but I didn't like it because it was, it was too outlandish. Um I mean, some of the storylines that they put her in, they didn't even really like go in depth enough. Um
Yeah,
I don't.
my one complaint about Series 5, I really love Series 5,
Mhm.
is that her bullying past was just kind of dropped after her episode, and I'm really, really hoping that they're going to go into that tomorrow, as some of the teasers have like
Yeah, me too.
made me believe. Because that was interesting. She had this like very, very serious path with bullying, and then she proceeded to treat other people like shit.
Yep. Um yeah, like I really hope they go into that tomorrow as well. And I don't know, I just think some of the storylines they put her in, they there's really no words to explain it. I think we've seen too much of her this series in storylines that didn't really make us more or less interested in her, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um and I think she is also one of the characters that have matured over the two series, but I think she's matured in a bad way more than a good way. Um, Minnie, how do you think Minnie has changed over last series?
I At first I thought she didn't change that much. She was like she still felt a lot like Minnie to me, but I actually rewatched her episode, I think,
Hmm.
from series 5, and she's changed so much. Like even like how she looks so different. She's grown up a
Yep,
lot.
she has.
And she's changed from being crazy bitch with no reason to, kind of she's like vulnerable,
Hmm.
but she's still very like hard-headed, and like she tries to be strong, but
Yeah.
she's not. I think Aloe said it really well when he was like, I don't think you know how to love anything.
Yep.
And that's definitely true. I feel like that's true for Frankie as
Yep.
well. So I think that's why they were such good friends.
Yeah, and also back to Frankie. The reason why I don't like people hating on Frankie is because some of the things that she's been through in her life, I think that she does have some reasoning whatsoever of why she does some of the things she does, but I don't think that that reasoning is to the point enough where people should absolutely hate her. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that like as a human being, some of the things she's done has not been great. I
yeah,
really, really, really did not like her in last week's
yeah,
episode. She was just, oh, she was such a cunt. Like, I couldn't handle it.
yeah. Um, and I think that in a way she's just trying to be caring for Minnie's baby, but she took it out of hand. Like she took it way too far.
Well, Minnie said it really well. She says like you can't fix yourself by fixing this
Yep.
or something, which
Hmm.
is totally what she was trying to do.
Yep. That's definitely what she was doing. But
I
yeah,
don't like it.
Minnie. I think Minnie has changed. Um, since the last series, she has become more vulnerable, and I think she's become less of a bitch. I mean, she's like last series. I thought that she was kind of like not accepting everyone as well, like Rich and Aloe. But now their relationships have bonded so much, and I think that um, Minnie has basically become more reluctant, and I really like the way they have been showing her this series. I really like the storyline in her series 6 episode with her dad Gregory. Um, And I mean, like, I definitely think that Minnie has been one of the people who have changed the most. It's her, Frankie, and Rich. And I don't know. I think that she was the perfect person to make pregnant this series. I mean, I knew someone was going to get pregnant by the.
I thought it was Frankie. I totally thought Frankie was
You
gonna
thought it
get
was going to be
pregnant.
Frankie. I mean, that
Yeah,
that was probably my second guess, either Minnie or Frankie.
yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna be Liv. Like I couldn't feel like,
Yeah,
oh yeah, because she already looks like Jal. Like
yeah.
she can't get pregnant.
She can't get pregnant. It's just not going to work. Or Skins will get
No.
lots of hate for that.
Yeah, I
Uh,
really thought that it would be interesting to get Frankie pregnant. If we throw away all of these other storylines that she's been given,
yeah,
that probably would have been better.
that would
But
have.
Minnie pregnant has done her a lot of good.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, if they didn't show Frankie in so many storylines that were so irrelevant to the series, then I think that getting Frankie pregnant would be one, storyline that people would be actually interested in, instead of throwing these very irrelevant storylines out there that didn't really make any sense.
Yeah, the love triangle crap, like no.
No, I mean her and Nick. I don't see where that even came from. Um, I don't know. But speaking of Nick,
Yeah.
how do you think Nick evolved over the last series?
I think he's definitely gotten more likable, and putting aside his like weird relationship with Frankie now, I think that he's grown up, but he still has that like strong like jock mentality where he
Yep.
wants to like do everything for the team.
Hmm.
And I was a little bit disappointed in his episode from the season. I was like, I don't know, because it was just the storyline with the like Russian guys
Yeah.
trying to get Maddie back.
Hmm.
But the issue was that he owed them money and they were gonna like do some like it felt too much like with Sid.
Yep.
And didn't
Absolutely.
it happen to Cook? No, it was Thomas.
Thomas.
Um, it was like I like they could think of something more original and um, it would have been one thing if it was just about like Maddie's coming back and I don't know how to
Yeah.
deal with it. That would have been fine because we could see that there was a lot of like animosity in the group that
Yeah.
like not everybody wanted him back. No one wanted him back.
Mm-mm. I thought that Frankie was too in his episode, for it just to be called Nick. I
Yeah.
really wish we could have seen more of his feelings rather than his feelings towards Frankie. Because, like I said before, I think Nick is a really interesting character. And I just thought Frankie was in that episode way too much for us to even get a gist of what he was like this series. Um, and yeah, I thought the storyline could have been way more original than it was. But it's it's happened, and yep. Aloe, he's been one of my favorites this series. What did you think about him?
I loved his episode from the series. I thought it was like I loved the comparison with like Peter Pan. It was so
Yep.
aloe and so perfect.
So Aloe.
Um, Way better than any kind of other. They've done things like that before on the show.
Yeah.
Um, that was like perfect, and I think that he's grown up, but he still has his like whimsy quality. I loved Poppy, and just everything that he went through with that. I could see how like grown up he was, and it didn't feel like the same Aloe from last series in the best way possible.
Yep. Definitely not. Um, yeah, I really liked his episode, this series as well. Um, I shipped him and Poppy so hard until we found out she was 13. Um, but I loved the Peter Pan comparison in that episode, and I really liked the storyline that they put Aloe in. I just wish we could have seen like more of his feelings. Like all the only problem with all of these episodes is that we're getting into the storyline so much that we're not even really seeing the actual characters, if that makes any sense. And I really, really liked Aloe on his episode, and I just wish we could have seen more of his actual self. So let's go to Liv. How do you think Liv has changed?
I think that I loved her episode. It was very like sad, um,
Hmm.
but I she's definitely one of my favorite characters, and I really 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 love how she like manifested all of her grief into Alex, and I think it was like interesting that they show that it was a toxic
Yep.
friendship, even though they're really good friends.
Hmm.
And the like cancer thing, I'm so glad it wasn't real because
Yeah, me too.
that would have been so
I would have
stupid.
been devastated.
Um, I really really liked that like Grace was kind of a she was a tumor and she had to like let go, and I think it was like a beautiful comparison.
Yep.
Um, Liv is like definitely the most human character I think of the generation,
Yeah, I
even
think so
more
too.
than Rich.
Yep. I think
And I
she's
love Rich.
Yeah, I think that Liv is the more realistic character.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, she just makes me think of like real life. Um, because like she is so realistic. Uh, like the way she does everything. Um, I think that I really loved the relationship between her and Maudie in that episode, her sister, and I really really liked the part where she was at the doctor's office and she just bursted into tears.
yeah.
Um,
She's
it
a great actress.
Yeah, she is. Her and Freya Maver can shoot out some tears really fast. Um, and I think that I don't know. I thought that Liv she's the more she's more emotional about Grace's passing, and I'm I thought Liv's episode was one of the best this series, and
Yeah. There's
I
a lot of Liv and Alex's episode too, and I think that you can see a lot in that episode that she
yeah,
was the only one out of the group that really wanted to talk about it
yeah,
and wanted to get over it in a healthy way. Like Minnie
yeah,
was avoiding it,
yeah,
and Frankie was being angry, and
yeah,
she was the only one that wanted to be normal about
yeah.
it.
I think so too. The I was gonna say something. I think the only thing I didn't like about Liv's episode, I was just thinking of it and it totally lost my mind. Oh yeah, the only thing I didn't like about Liv in general this series was that she didn't really talk about much because you have to remember that she was in that car accident with Maddie and Grace,
Yeah,
and I don't think she
it
like
could have
in
been her.
yeah, I don't think she enriched that enough. Like I don't think she talked about that. Like she just seemed like a person who found out about it. She didn't seem like a person that was actually in the accident. And I wish we could have seen more of that because those would have been some really great feelings and storylines that we could have seen about her like having nightmares about the crash and how it could have been her and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
so I thought they could have done that a little bit, but I liked the route that they went anyways, and I liked her episode. It was one of my favorites in the whole series.
yeah, it was really sad.
Yep.
I loved the ending scene though in the graveyard. It was very
Yeah,
bittersweet.
that was
Um,
very great.
if you want to get into my weird theory that Grace might be alive, it's like a 0.1% in my brain right now. Like, you know, her grave didn't look that real. It looked kind of cheap.
It did look kind of cheap.
Blood would have spent more money.
I think so too. And I don't know if that's just the writers, how like they couldn't, well, not the writers, but the people who
Yeah.
produce skins, if they couldn't like pull off a realistic grave, or if it's just like uh, a fake grave by Professor Blood. I don't know, but I thought the grave did look pretty cheap. It just said like "Rest in peace, Grace Violet Blood" or something. I don't
Yeah.
remember, but um, yeah, it did look pretty cheap, and that could add on to the
It was
theories
very
that
rushed.
yeah that Grace is still alive. Um,
I don't
what'd you say? It was break.
yeah, I don't really know how to
Yeah, me
feel
neither.
about like I would love her to be alive. I would love for everything to be okay with them, but it just doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to take that direction.
I mean, like I said before, it would ruin some of those very, very special
Yeah,
moments that we had this series, like at the gravesite, like we were just talking about.
the scene
And
with Blood and Rich and like all of that stuff was very like beautiful.
yeah, and
It
it
would,
that would just like go to the trash once. If
But
she,
it's Skins. You never know.
yeah. I mean, I think we're definitely going to see some kind of big shock in the finale. Um,
I'm hoping it won't be something like with like Maddie and oh no,
yeah. If we see another, I see
I'm
the
Cook.
yeah. I really do not want this finale to be focused on Frankie again. I am,
It looks like it is too.
yeah.
Oh,
Um, I mean, I don't know. I think that like okay, I'm about to go through all of these episodes and like see which ones were focused around Frankie.
at least
Um,
half.
yeah, definitely the Frankie episode.
Oh,
Um, Minnie's episode not that much. Nick's episode was focused around Frankie, Minnie and Frankie. Um, Frankie was in Lives quite a lot, I
yeah,
thought. So she's been in a good half. She's been um in like half. She's been very
yeah,
upcoming in like half. Okay.
yeah.
Um,
Rich has not had enough screen time.
I
Nick
don't
has
think so
not.
either.
Maddie obviously has not. And we didn't even talk about Maddie because he never got an episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We need to talk about Maddie because he didn't even get an episode. You're right.
He'll never have, which is it's kind of sad. Um,
Did Maddie ever have an episode? No, he didn't. Did he?
nope, he'll never ever have an episode. And I was like
That's
upset that
crazy.
Grace won't have one this series, but Maddie never got one,
Yeah, I
and
just
he's
realized
gone for a
that.
majority of this series, and
I just realized that.
he's
Wow.
supposed to be considered one of like the main
Hmm.
uh like cast members, and he never got an episode, and he was featured a lot in Nick's episodes, both of them. But it's not enough. Like we and Lives in last series, we
Yeah.
really don't know that much about him, and he's shrouded in mystery. And I would like to know more about his
Yeah.
like childhood.
I just realized that he didn't have an episode in both of the series. Wow.
Yeah,
I thought they should have called episode 5 of last series like Nick and Maddie or
Nick,
something because he was in that episode a lot. He was in like a good majority of that episode.
we
Um,
never really saw it from his
yeah,
perspective. It was all Nick's.
it was. Wow, I just realized that. Like I've never realized that until now. Um, so since we're kind of like doing the episode analysis as we go, what did you think about Minnie and Frankie's episode?
Um, as with a lot of the episodes of the series, like I wasn't looking forward to it too much, but it was better than I expected.
Yeah,
Um, like I just think that I don't know. Like I don't like Frankie, although I like that we're not supposed to like. I don't think we're supposed to like Frankie at this
yeah, I
point.
don't think so either.
She didn't do anything good in this last episode, and she hurt a lot of people.
She did.
And I think that I still cannot believe that Minnie didn't like tell anyone.
Yeah.
Like that still bothers me at the end of Ala's episode that she still didn't tell him that she was pregnant. Like, are you serious?
I mean, I thought the Minnie and Frankie episode, it it was okay. I think that the best part was probably when Rich took Minnie to Alo's little tent thing, his little
Yeah,
shack.
that was cute.
Yeah, I like that part and the part where Alo and Minnie were dancing.
Yeah, I
Um,
did not like it when Minnie and Frankie were dancing, and oh, and when Frankie deleted the
yeah, I didn't like that either.
voicemail,
That got me
yeah,
upset.
that was rude.
I mean,
Um,
like I understand that she was trying to be caring of Minnie, but when she deleted the message from Alo, I thought that was very rude.
that's when I knew that like this was when like Frankie is done being
Yeah,
the beloved character. People are gonna start really hating her, and I think that was the point. Like we're supposed to see how destructive she is.
of course.
Um, I felt bad for Minnie. Oh, do you think that they're gonna lose the baby?
Oh man, I don't know. I've read two different things, both official teasers. In the episode synopsis of the finale, it says that Minnie and Aloe are struck by tragedy. Um,
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't know what that could either be the baby or it could be like the simplest thing, like I don't know, Minnie drops a pin. Um,
To me, tragedy just implies that it's like it's something very serious, and I don't know if it
yeah,
means they're gonna lose the baby or there's like serious like complications. I mean,
yeah,
this is obviously a pregnancy with issues, and she was drinking, and it's she's a high risk, and she's
yeah,
very thin and stressed. And the
definitely.
doctor said in the last episode, like, you really, really need to relax, and she wasn't given the chance
Yeah,
to.
that
Frankie was like
is
making her run.
Frankie, Frankie, Frankie.
Fucking Frankie.
Um, gosh, I really didn't like the way that they left episode 9, Minnie and Frankie, off with the cliffhanger.
I'm
Cause
glad. I'm hoping they're getting the cliffhanger out of their system
yeah.
for tomorrow.
Man, I hope so too. I'm super excited for tomorrow's episode.
We'll
Um,
see.
um, uh,
Short episode and a lot of characters, and I'm just hoping
yeah,
that they do it right.
yeah. I always think that the finale should be longer because the finale seems to go
They
by
need to have like
so
an hour and a half for the finale,
they
or
do.
two
Like
hours,
the
5 hours.
finales are just the same length as the other episodes, and I don't like that.
Yeah. Then again, they don't really, um, they don't like wrap things up. They do cliffhangers on the show,
Yeah,
but at the same time, in past generations, you can kind of see that they wrap things up. Like not everything is a cliffhanger,
yeah,
especially in series two. It's like
mhm,
we kind of know how it's going to work out. The only cliffhanger is will Sid find Cassie, and um, that I think that isn't a huge cliffhanger because like
yeah,
it's a huge city, but he'll probably found her.
yeah,
We'll find out soon enough. And there was a big cliffhanger in series four with like, oh, does Cook beat Foster? But I think he definitely did.
yeah. I mean, like it's like those episodes, like I mean, those series do not hang on the fact whether Sid found Cassie or Cook beat up Foster. I think that those episodes or those series, I don't think that they would change at all if those two things happened. But let's say Grace is alive at the end of the finale, that would definitely change everything.
Yeah.
That's completely different if Sid found Cassie or Cook beat up Foster. It's different. Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the finale tomorrow, and I cannot wait for it.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I just don't know what they're gonna do with like Rich's story. Oh, and like the teasers for the episode or one of the synopses. Like there's so many things that have come
Yeah,
out that they're saying that they're like running out of time, and like I know that they're like graduating and shit, but like is there something else that's gonna come to play?
yeah.
Who knows?
I'm excited. Well, it was nice chatting with you, and thank you for doing this podcast with me, talking about the development of the characters over the past two series, and what we're looking forward to for the finale and all that kind of stuff. So thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.
You as well. I had fun.